Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Wednesday, the 10th of November 2021. Now, what's happening in Millwall news today? We have this story which might explain, if you saw yesterday's video that I made, why Alex Mitchell was not given permission, or I assume was not given permission to play in the FA Cup. We've got defenders with injuries. Murray Wallace. So this is from news@den.co.uk. Millwall defender damaged knee ligament against Derby, but boss hopes for full squad at Borough. So it's just bruised. Because Borough's in a couple of weeks, so you would assume it's just a little bruise, but it doesn't sound good when you're talking about knee ligaments. So Murray Wallace damaged knee ligament in the 1-1 draw with Derby last Saturday, but boss Gary Rowett is hopeful that he will finally have a full squad to choose from with a trip to Middlesbrough after the international break. George Evans has been out with a calf strain he picked up against Stoke on October 23 and has missed the last 3 games. Daniel Ballard was going through concussion protocols this week and is also having an injection on his knee. Rowett hasn't yet had a full squad available this season. And Rowett says, I think George will have a chance of being back in training before the Borough game. He's missed a little bit of football, so we'll have to assess what he's like when he comes back. There's potential for him to be back fit. Murray Wallace just tweaked his knee ligament in the game, so might be out for a week or 10 days. But again, we would hope they would be back available as well. So I think there is an opportunity for potentially the whole squad to be fit for the next match. Wow, so really getting bashed around the Millwall defenders, Ballard, Murray Wallace. So now it makes sense for Alex Mitchell didn't feature in. So he played in the game. If you didn't see yesterday's video, played in the game before their FA Cup tie against FC. He played in the game after their FA Cup tie against FC. It was just that game that he wasn't in the squad. So it seems someone has an eye out for the future. Bit of a psychic, bit of a Nostradamus, Mr. Gary Rowett, and he's looking there like, okay, Alex Mitchell might be coming back in January if we keep getting these players banged up. So don't let him play in the FA Cup for Leyton Orient, which. The fact that you're managing your squad at Millwall and you're still having an eye on what your other players are doing away from away on loan, it's good. It's good. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So moving on, our next opponents, as you just heard, Middlesbrough. Next game back after the international break. They just fired Neil Warnock quite unceremoniously after he reached the historical record of being the football manager who managed the most games, and they just got rid of him. And here we have a story from London newsonline.co.uk, and it seems like they've announced Chris Wilder, and he's done a press conference also when he's gone in there, and he's saying a few things about Millwall. So Chris Wilder says Middlesbrough will be expected to beat Millwall when they face off after the international break. The former Sheffield United boss has been appointed the new Borough manager, replacing Neil Warnock. Wilder said, people will turn up expecting us to beat Millwall and put a performance on. I've got to climb another mountain, that's what it's all about. There are some very talented players at the club. It's about getting to know them, putting the early messages down with staff and players, and implementing our ideas as quickly as we possibly can. I want us to be aggressive, competitive. I want us to express ourselves, play in the right way and play effective football. There are different ways to win a football match. It's not about being pigeonholed. I'll be versatile. All I can predict is my teams will have a right go. If it doesn't happen, my teams will know about it and so will you. The first team has a lot of talented players. There is a core group of talented boys who want their best so they can mix it with the best in this division. So it seems not the best time for them to get a new manager. I don't know where they are in the table. I think they're below us, so they're like mid-table, but not by much. But which would explain why they fired Warnock. So I imagine they assume, or they feel they have a right to be higher up in the table. and it just isn't happening for them. And they brought in Chris Wilder, and will there be the new manager bounce? Now it would be nice if we could put him on his arse straight away, but who knows what could happen. This was a fixture last season, or the season before, no, last season, where we lost 3-0 at Middlesbrough, and it was one of Gary Rowett's worst games in charge, and it kind of woke a lot of people up, a lot of fans up, saying Rowett out. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So moving on now to this from news@den.co.uk. It's their October Player of the Month, and we're 10 days into November, and they're just publishing it up now, the answer. So Bart Biakowski has been voted News@Den's Millwall Player of the Month for October based on ratings by Lions fans. A 34-year-old Millwall goalkeeper carded an average score of 6.76 in News@Den's player rater system. Last month, Biakowski played in 5 league games and produced some brilliant saves, most spectacularly in a win at Sheffield United. Biakowski ended the month with a better average rating than Sean Hutchinson and Danny Ballard, as Gary Rowett's side claimed 9 points from 5 games. There you go. So I don't know, after each game, if you go on the News@Den website, you can go, there is a section where you can click on it, and you can, as a viewer, just rate the players. And it does get a bit emotional. Someone has a bad game, they're down in like the 2s and the 1s. Not very realistic, but when someone has a good game, they are generally recognised. I think it's a thing called the wisdom of crowds. If you get a group of people to guess how many jelly beans are in a jar, there's some kind of weird formula where if you take the highest guess and the lowest guess and you average it out between a number of guesses, that ends up, you end up getting close to a real answer. And that's the thing that does happen with people doing wild guesses. If you get a lot of people to do that, you end up with pretty much spot on answer. So the wisdom of crowds has decided that Bartosz Biakowski was Millwall's Player of the Month for October. So there you have it, which is quite interesting. So moving on to the last and final story of the day. This is from millfc.co.uk, the club's official website. And they got consecutive goal of the month victories for Millwall Academy. So Millwall started doing this goal of the month thing. They put up a selection of videos of goals at the start of every month for the previous month, and you get to vote on it. I think they do it on Twitter. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it's on Twitter. A stunning solo effort by Millwall under-18s defender Kyle Smith has been voted October's goal of the month. Now here's the thing, because the first team scores so few goals, they've had to stretch it out to under-18s, under-23s, and even the women's team. So that's kind of indicative, but it is what it is. So picking up the ball just inside the Swansea City half, Smith dances his way through a crowd of players before slung the ball calmly into the bottom corner. With 8 goals to choose from for the October goal of the month, Smith's strike came top by over 50 votes, beating Jake Cooper's winner against Sheffield United and Alyssa Miranda's cool strike with Fleet against Fleet Town Ladies, who both received 98 votes. And you can watch the goals if you're interested by clicking on that link there. Okay, so there you go. That is it for today's Millwall news. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.